Hello, race fans. Welcome to another episode of Short Track Guys podcast, brought to you by ShortTrackExclusives.com. I am your host, Thomas Faddis, alongside two other short track guys, and you know them well by now. Jim Pokrant, driver of the 07 Can'tQuitFishing.com sportsman here locally at Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola, Florida, and Ted Baber of Ted Baber Video Productions, also locally here at Pensacola. What's up, guys?
Good evening. We're ready to get this done. Let's do it.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you guys back in the studio here, and we've got some catching up to do, and we're going to get ready for a big Friday night. I know, Jim, you're got a couple of races, maybe a few races left, and you've got a points lead, and we talked about your success throughout the season and some changes that you've kind of worked your way back up to the front, and now you're going to stay there. And what is your mindset really going into this Friday night with that next race?
Well, we took the car apart, and it was kind of divine intervention that we won that last race because my 3/4 shifter arm was laying on the cross member. The transmission detent all inside the transmission was laying everywhere. It was practically a nightmare. I'd lost almost all my gear oil. It was pretty crazy, but we did win it. And then thank you to everybody that helps and all my fans. I appreciate all the congratulatories. But right now we're putting in a new clutch because we smoked the clutch in the last race. Making some minor adjustments, nothing major. And I got to thank the Gintz Brothers Racing for letting me take the tires off of their number 5 car because they're not racing again this weekend because Brock has a ball game. The kid I'm mentoring and helping, he just can't make it. And they've got some good tires compared to mine, so we're going to bolt their tires on my car. And I tell you what else is fun is just we've run all these years, and to be called a cheater is kind of fun. We've been labeled a cheater now officially because we're beating these guys with high dollar stuff, and I'm beating them with stuff like a stock S10 power steering pump out of a junkyard, a leaking steering box that leaks when the car sits still. I just ain't got the money to replace it. A 7-year-old motor, McGonigal 602. It's just the seals are fixing to rot in two. That's how bad it is. They're so rusted you can't even read them. And 150 pounds compression versus 170 pounds compression. So, I think we're doing pretty dang good. And we won the last race on old tires, so that was a lot of fun. And we're just going to put old tires back on this week, and we're going to go out there and hopefully open up a can of kick butt and get the job done and win us 2 in a row.
Of all the things you could possibly be accused of, that would not be the one
No.
right there.
Well, I mean, they were saying stuff like, "Oh, I know Jim soaked his tires." I'm like, "Well, why don't you come look?"
Yeah, bring this never let go.
I mean, they were under my car the last race with a micrometer measuring stuff, and I'm like, "When are you guys going to get tired of measuring stuff on this old car?" Never. I mean, it's obvious as greasy and nasty as it is, I haven't washed underneath there. And not only that, but you're looking at the same old stuff. If you remember last year, my car was legal at the end of the season, and the car that won the championship was not. And they know it. And it's a shame.
Let's compare. You're talking about somebody who won 5 in a row.
Yeah.
No problem, no questions asked, but all of a sudden you win 1. And you're looking towards.
Oh, well, I've been running up front. Yeah. I mean, we practiced that Thursday night, and I had somebody come over and go, "Man, are you on soaks?" "No, why?" "Well, man, you laid down some really fast laps." Well, the other thing is, I've been racing out there for 25 years, and I think I know my way around the speedway, so I think I'm pretty good too. Don't discount the old guy behind the wheel.
But did somebody actually expect you to say, "Yes, we're running on soap"?
Yeah.
I mean,
what
kind of question would that be?
Yeah, sure I am. Yeah. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
No, there you go, too, right?
Say no more.
Don't say anything to anybody, but yes.
Yeah,
I've been soaking for 3 weeks.
Yeah, don't tell nobody. We've been shh. It's all on the hush hush.
Be very, very quiet.
Yeah, we're wanting soaks.
So you've got this mentality of trying to get to the next 3 races and solidify yourself. You got the points lead comfortably, and you've got a fast car. So what, in your mind, what is the strategy going in forward with this Friday night, and then the next couple just put that purple jacket on it?
Well, my mindset is to finish the race, drive it on the trailer. If we get a trophy, great. If we don't, that's fine too. But I think we're going to win some trophies at the end of this season. If we end up in tech, fine. We'll tear down what they want us to tear down. We'll do whatever they ask. I mean, I know what we're doing. And I know the Night of Champions, even if we don't finish in the top 3, we're going to end up down there in tech like last year, and they're going to take us apart, of course, probably pull the rear end apart or whatever they want to do. And it's fine. We want to win this championship, and I won't let I'm telling you, I got a buddy of mine that's been begging me to put some stuff in my fuel or change this or cheat there. No, I'm not. And I've gotten mad. We've gotten into, FU fights in the shop because people want me to cheat. And I'm not cheating. I don't cheat, have never cheated, not going to win a race that way. Because when I got 11 victories at Five Flag Speedway. And of those 11 victories, I did it fair and square. And that's the way I've always wanted to be remembered.
Well, amen to that.
Pretty unusual for somebody to get, I don't want to say jealous, but that's kind of what it sounds like.
Well, I mean, when you've got a high dollar car and you've got all this, I mean, you paid $12,000 for a sportsman car, and I may have 6,000 or 7,000 in mine. And, it's a big shout out to John Ruth, because John's the one that set that car up. Yeah. He's the one that put the springs on it, and he's helping some other people, and they don't want to run the setup I'm running, and I think they're making a big mistake, but that's them. Yeah. Everybody wants to run that soft spring, big bar crap with the hold down shocks. It doesn't work for me. I've tried it. I hated it. I couldn't drive the car in a 10-acre field. Put old school back to it, and old driver, old school, old car, old motor, and hey, we took some of that new money home last week with a trophy.
Yeah, we can go back to Steve Buttrick too. As much as he was helping everybody, not just me, but you, I'm sure everybody else in the field, he could tell you what he was doing. He could show you everything, but he put it in a real simple way.
Yeah,
is that you don't drive like I do, and I don't drive like you do. Yep. So I can give you what I've got, and I can tell you what I'm doing, and I can even help you and give you some of the equipment. But it's not going to make any difference. So
yeah, I mean, Steve was a hell of a wheelman. There's no taking anything away.
For sure.
Because let me tell you something. I hit that car in the driver's door unintentionally. We had a bad wreck, and I broke his leg, and I'm still sorry to that for this day. But when that car got torn apart, I saw it, and I was just shaking my head. I mean, the thing had a lot of junk, but it was just fast, and a lot of it was him.
Yep.
And I'm the senior driver right now. I'm the guy that's the guy to beat. And now I'm the biggest cheater on the planet, even though, like I said, I welcome a teardown. I wish somebody would buy that motor. I mean, it would be nice to have a fresh engine. And, I mean, you think my motor's illegal. Well, it's $3,500. I'll pull it out, set it on the ground. You give me the $3,500, I'll go order me a brand new one. Then I really will whip you.
Well, it's like over in Mobile, somebody bought Steve's motor and lost horsepower.
Chopper Stagner.
Right. That was Steve Stagner. Yeah, I remember that deal went down.
And he went slower. That was like Stevie Mercer back in the day. He run a quote unquote Dingler motor from Georgia, and it was a built motor. And Stevie could run up front and win with a built motor when all the rest were running crates. Stevie put a crate in his car and slowed down. Right. So it tells me how legal that motor was. Along with his Jericho transmission in 2005, which he should have been tossed for, but once again, I got the crappy end of that stick too. I should have won that derby. I had the legal car at the checkered, and I finished third, so that's okay. I mean, listen, I love this sport. I love being around it. I love all the people, friends I've made, everything about it. I love it, even the bad. You got to take the good with the bad, and that's why we don't have a lot of short track racers, because they can't take the bad. People want instant success. They want to build a $12,000 car, come out and kick your butt with it, and they can't do it. And it's, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yep.
It's
you
ridiculous.
either get in it to win and then have fun, or you just get out of it and walk away and go do something else.
Well, I mean, even in it to win it. Back in my day when I first started, I knew I didn't have anything for those boys that ran up front, but I was out there having fun. I mean, it used to be when they would say, oh, well, must be the Snowball Derby because Jim's buying 4 tires. And that was the God's honest truth when I ran super stock. I never bought tires. I got Dave Redden's takeoffs, and I'd swap them around, put them on the car, and I would run pretty good. Sometimes I'd even outrun his car with his tires.
Right.
Dave
Redden, how is he doing? You talked to him recently?
Yeah, I talk to him pretty regular. He's living out in Vegas now, living life, married to a wonderful wife, and has a business called Sit and Charge, where they put charge ports in casinos.
Wireless charge ports, yeah.
Yeah, they have them out of Five Flags, too. In fact, last year I put some in for him because he asked me to. But Dave is doing very well. And, he's one of my best friends, and I love him to death. And Dave, I'll get you to listen to this, and we miss you, man. I miss you on the radio. I love Frank. Frank's a great spotter, but Dave was super good with me.
Yeah, it's good to hear that.
Like I said, man, racing's cool. I love it, but I'm going to tell you, just a quick rant here. I got to get this out of my system.
Yeah,
You know,
go for it.
all these people that, were my age or younger, they're Dale Earnhardt fans. Woo, Earnhardt. Yeah, Dale knocked him out of the way, boy. But you run up and bump one of them, and it's Towel City.
Game on.
No, I can't believe he ran into me. He bumped me going in the corner, and it's not fair. But then they'll be the first people to run you over or dump you in the wall or wreck you, and then say it's racing. And I've raced against people that will run down the grass and door slam you, and then get mad at you about knocking their toe out. I mean, it's ridiculous. If you don't like a scratch, my car's all beat up from starts and restarts. People just outside of me, underneath me, just beating all over me before we even get the green flag. But touch one of their cars and see if their dad or their uncle or the brother or somebody's not in your face screaming and yelling at you because you touched their race car. If you want to drive a show car, there's drag racing. Okay, you can drag race and you won't scratch it or put a ding in it. But we're short track racers. You're going to swap paint. I don't mind swapping paint with you. Just don't do me dirty.
Right.
And I want you to do you dirty. But I from this last race, I've had several people, just Jim hit everybody coming through the field. If you watch the video, I hit 3 cars. One of them because I was driving up beside him and he chopped me off. And you can even see my car raise up in the back from getting on the brakes, trying not to, and you spin out. Don't blame that on me. Where's your spotter? Why aren't you looking to the left when you go down in the corner? Because I was looking through the window net at this guy, and he never once looked down to see if anybody was under him getting in the corner.
Yeah, and Ted, you had a bird's eye view of the whole thing.
As a matter of fact, I was somewhere else earlier doing some editing for somebody else, and I froze that car. I just happened to have the nose of your car in the bottom edge of the screen, and I could see the nose of your car was up the numbers of that other car.
Yep,
so.
I was until he started down, and I got in the brakes real hard, and I touched his back bumper, and he spun out. Well, I owed this guy anyway because he smooth wrecked me twice in 2018.
Smooth wrecked me?
Oh, smooth just drove
I've
through
never
me.
heard that before.
Yeah,
Smooth wrecked me.
Smooth just wrecked me.
Okay,
Drove
ladies and gentlemen, we have just become another term. Smooth wrecked me.
Nah, I've heard that one before. Maybe you haven't, but I have. But the point is, he dumped me. Straight drove through me. Never got out of the throttle, nothing. And then, I barely touch him. He spins out, and he's screaming and crying. I'm a rough driver, and I'm this, that, and the other. Well, the car he's driving and I have a history, and me and him have a history. And I'm going to race you the way you race me. If you want to play bumper cars, let's play bumper cars. You want to race, I'll pass you clean every time. Certain situations I've been blamed for stuff, and I got video proof I didn't do it.
Right.
Thanks to this man sitting to my left, Ted Baber, and his ability to show me videos of what happened. I love the sport. I want to race. I want to continue this one more year, and next year's going to be my retirement year because I'm going to semi-retire. But come on, guys. If you guys want to build show cars, build show cars. If you want to build race cars, let's race because we're going to swap paint. It's going to happen. Sometimes you're going to accidentally get into me. The 19 car, Darryl McDonald III, he dumped me earlier this year and flat drove through me. And I ain't been mad about it. I'm like, cool. And, I forgive him. It was just a rookie mistake. I get it. No sense of being mad about it. But if it happens second or third time, then you have to do something. But I also found out that I'm on probation for the rest of the season, which the promoter neglected to tell me that I was actually on it. He told me he was going to do it, but never confirmed it. Now I found out I am. So I got to watch my P's and Q's these next 3 races, finish, and take this daggum championship to the house.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen. You can mark my words. I don't care if somebody gets stupid. I'll back out and let them go. I don't have to win. I don't have to run the top 3. All I've got to do is start and finish these next 3 races. And if that's what I got to do, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be several this coming weekend alongside you who's going to try to do that same thing with that pro late model entry list that's coming in. It's going to be incredible.
Be a good show.
Jake Garcia, we can just kind of jump into that. I know he's going to be here coming off that win at Chris
Cordell
Motorsports Park in Cordell, Southern Super Series race.
Yeah,
it was incredible. The kid is just turned 16, and he's, the laundry list of wins, big wins, not just like local Friday, Saturday night features. He's going to a lot of these kids are going after these big wins.
Right.
And they're performing.
He's got a heck of a crew chief.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
No, former Snowball Derby winner.
Ricky Turner.
Ricky Turner, that's
yeah.
what it was. Not
28 car.
28 car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the lumber car, that bright green number 28.
Yeah, he won 2002.
Yeah, and he worked with Chase Elliott.
Yep.
And he's working with Jake Garcia, and Jake Garcia finished third in both the last two Five Flags races. Those twin Friday and Saturday night shows, he finished third in both of those too. And he's led a lot of laps at Five Flags. That kid's good.
Well, the results, I mean, you got Jake Garcia, Chandler Smith, Donnie Wilson's stable, Corey Heim, Bubba Pollard, Daniel Dye. Some of the notables, we got Stephen Nasse. It's a points leader now in the Southern Super Series, finished 12th. Hunter Robbins, Jet Nolan, and Jake Finch finished 7th, 8th, and 9th, respectively. But, I mean, it might have had 20 cars, 22 cars or something, but this field in the Southern Super Series race is just incredible.
Yeah, it's a great series. It's local to a lot of guys, and you got guys coming from North Carolina, and the Blizzard Series of Five Flags is mainly for guys. I mean, the next one's going to be mainly guys getting geared up for the Snowball Derby, but tune up for the Derby, yeah, because you got to run some laps around that place, because they were talking about earlier, the track is abusive on tires. But you know what? Don't pave it, Tim. Hear what I'm saying. Do not pave that racetrack. I love it just the way it is.
Yeah. Right. It's old, it's worn out, got ruts, bumps all over the place, but it's a driver's track. So leave it alone. Let them
Skippy.
Oh yeah, it's got its own character, and I think that's what people like about it. The drivers come in, and you look what they're doing to Atlanta.
They're ruining that place.
Yeah, ruining, but yes, they are
changing.
But they're changing it, and it's going to be a little bit better. But
maybe
I like the characterization of the bumps and how it wears tires, and it kind of puts it into the driver's hands to, like Bubba Pollard. I mean, Bubba Pollard, dude, I'm telling you, he knows how to make and manage his equipment.
Exactly.
He gets in a race car, and he knows. And you see him going around in qualifying, and he's maybe 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th, 11th. But he's on a long run setup.
Well, now he used to qualify up front. He admitted when he won their race at Five Flags, they got to work on their qualifying, because he's been on the outside pole for the Snowball. He's been right there every time they qualify, and he's just had some times where his qualifying ain't been that good. But it's a new car. I mean, it's a brand new Port City he's working with. And, I mean, he did that in Cordell with his other ex-Pro late model car, and I think he finished top 5 last time he brought it out again. The last time he ran that particular car at Jefferson, I think he finished, 4th or 5th?
Mm-hmm. And fine-tuning.
That's not the car that he won Five Flags with. That car was in the shop getting refixed from the wreck that he had. So, man, the dude is just a ton of talent. And I watched him. He don't put on tires. He practices on old tires. He gets that car working late in the race, and then when he's got 4 Mr. Feelgoods to start the race, he's good. But man, he saves his stuff.
Right.
And when it comes time to go, son, you better be ready, because here comes Bubba Pollard.
Well, Ted, you being up, with the bird's eye view in the camera, watching this and knowing there's 3 or 4 guys that we have talked about that are threats anytime. Well, all of them are threats, but there's 3 or 4 that are really big favorites to come in, and you've got to see this through the bird's eye view in the camera.
Right.
And tell us a little bit about what you go through when you're standing up there videoing this whole thing.
Well, there's a lot of concentration has to go on, because not only are you thinking about you've got your shot composition and all that going on, you also have to remember where these drivers are, and when you start getting in traffic and things start getting mixed up and you got 30 cars on the track, you can lose one really quickly. So you have to constantly be focused. You're trying to listen to the audio, trying to pick out the individual fights that they're talking about, taking care of that. And then it's like, oh, crap, 5 to go. I'd better find the leader. Where is he at? You can get lost in a big hurry doing that. It's just a whole lot of fun, because sooner or later, Bubba or somebody like that is going to flip that switch, and here he comes. And you're like, well, I might want to watch out for this guy.
Yeah, so you've not only got the camera focused on up front, but do you have somebody that's with you that says, hey, this 26 car is making a move, and kind of blowing the camera back to him, or how does that work?
I've got a second camera operator, and I keep him informed on who he needs to watch out for, and where he needs to be on the track. Sometimes he listens, sometimes he doesn't. It's a little frustrating on occasion, but I call him my action cam and said, you watch for the battles because that's where the wrecks are going to come from. And that's part of the highlight reel that eventually is going to come out. I mean, I've got tons of video. I really want to make a greatest hits DVD for each individual year and then put together a culmination at some point, which would be great.
Right. Do you have headsets that you talk to back and forth, or it's just straight out?
There's very little use in trying to do that because as soon as you crack a microphone, all you're going to hear are the cars.
Right. I got you. Well, certainly you've done incredible work for how many years now?
This is my 22nd year.
22nd year. Yep. Doing Ted Baber Video Productions, and man, I've seen a lot of your work, and it's really incredible. And my hat's off to you for doing what you do and having to keep up with that, because I know it's awfully hard.
It's not easy. The things you have to focus on. Well, and you hear people, well, it's just cars going in circles. Have you ever tried balancing a bowling ball on the head of a pin? I'm telling you, that's about what it's like.
Well, you do the best videos, Ted. That's for sure. I enjoy watching. I still have all my. I had to go through all of mine a few years ago, and I kept the ones, I put some in storage, and I kept the ones separate that I've either won or placed, or I kept all those where I could see them in the in cars and stuff when I wanted to see what I wanted to see. And it's really cool, man. We enjoy your videos, man. I know some people need to get off their butt and buy some from you. I appreciate you giving them to me. I appreciate you putting the in-car camera in. If we can ever remember to turn the thing on.
That does help.
Because when we're busy, it's like everybody forgets.
Yeah, well, it's a last-minute thing. I mean, you really have to wait till the last minute because you never know how long a race is going to run and how long that battery is going to hang.
Yeah, I miss having my golf cart because that's what Pam would do. She would ride down there and wait for us when we were getting ready to start them up. She'd reach in there and turn it on, but it is what it is. I mean, but you do a great job. And we enjoy your videos, man. I do enjoy every one of them, and that's a lot of fun. Even back when in '99 or 2000 at Snowball Derby, when you first noticed me because I dumped a couple of people in that B main. I still have that videotape. It's a VHS. That's no lie. No, my win in the vintage car was VHS. Yeah. I still have those.
Man with the big bumper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I will never forget that. I'm in fourth. They're like, in the transfer, or fifth, and the transfer spot is Larry Perkins Jr., but the man with the big front bumper, the 07 of Jim Pokran, is one spot out.
Wasn't that with the Rick Culberson crew?
No, that was with me and Eli and my brother, and I was married to my first wife then. That was 2000. Okay. That was with that Tracy Goodson Chevelle that I had that I put a Monte Carlo body on.
I meant the vintage.
The vintage was with Dave Redden.
Okay.
Yeah, Dave owned that car before Rick and them did, and then that broke my heart the day Dave sold that car to Rick. But I made a good friend. I mean, I met Rick Culberson, and Rick and I are good buddies. Shout out to him. He had open heart surgery not too long ago. He's doing really, really well. He's one of my best friends. I love him to death like a brother, and hopefully he'll be back at the races with us sometime soon. He just went back to work, so.
Back to work.
Yeah, he had a heart valve that had to be repaired.
Get well soon, Rick Culberson.
Yeah, definitely.
Thinking about you.
Yeah.
And I found out today my oldest grandson has COVID, so I pray for him. He's coughing and not feeling good. So as a kid, he should get over it. I pray that he does. It's my little racing buddy. So
well, we're gonna move on to what kind of a lot of people expected when we touched on the 60th annual NOS Energy Drink Knoxville Nationals in Knoxville, Iowa.
Yeah.
And we talked about the Thursday and Friday qualifying, the preliminaries. Friday night went, and Saturday night, the big deal. Ever heard of a young man from Elk Grove, California?
Kyle,
maybe
Kyle
racing
something?
a little bit. Kyle somebody.
Kyle something. He drives a 5-car, I think, in NASCAR. Larson, maybe?
Really?
Kyle Larson at 57.
Never heard of him.
Winning $176,000 in
a sprint car.
A wing 410 wing sprint car race
in a team that wasn't that good till he took it over, and then he's been kicking some behind, and he does it in dirt late models, and he does it in cup cars, and he does it in trucks, and he does it. I mean,
on a lawnmower.
I want to see this guy in an Indy car.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what else I'd love? I'd love for somebody to give him a ride in our snowball derby this year and see him come down and get to meet him. Because you know what? He went through that little spat of BS that happened to him.
Yep.
And all he did was go, okay, well, I can't race cup cars. I'm going to go race dirt cars. And just started stomping their butt.
He just started winning everything he was in.
Yeah, if he went to a big race, this is his. He lost very few, and then one of them he won recently. He flipped. It wasn't Knoxville. It was another race that he recently won. Before that, he flipped the car. They drug it in, fixed it, and he come back out and won the dadgum feature.
Well,
I mean, this is the guy that put a motor in the grandstands at Daytona and walked away like, got out and just kind of clapped his hands together and went,
dusted himself off. And
yeah, it's all good.
Well, I mean, the list of entries, which is, I mean, it's a huge race. I mean, it's a 410 with the wing sprints, whether indoor or outdoor, but they're dirt. And you got, I mean, Kyle Larson, Donnie Schatz, Brad Sweet,
800 horsepower.
Casey Kane.
Yeah.
Brian Brown, Rico Abreu. Sammy Swindell. I mean, and actually, on the outside of that, with that Swindell Speed Lab, they got Darren Pittman running with Kevin.
Another good guy.
Swindell Speed Lab. Kind of look that up on Facebook and your YouTube or whatever. But
we'll put a link to it on our Facebook page so people can find it. That'd be cool. Because I mean, Sammy Swindell was my favorite sprint car driver when I was a kid, and Kevin was another one that did really, really well. And, I'm going to tell you something. You go to the Knoxville Nationals, ain't a slacker in that infield. Mm-hmm. You don't come to that race with junk and expect to make the field. You got to be on your – I mean, they had a E, a D, and a C, and a B main, and then a loser's race. And, I mean, Jesus, man, you gotta win the E main to get to the D main, and run the D main to get to the C main, run the C main to get to the B main. I mean, it's incredible. And a guy like Kyle Larson, like I said, the dude is phenomenal in anything he drives.
Yep, he is.
And I know we don't talk about cup cars on here, but man, I'm gonna tell you something, dude. He can get in anything and make it look good.
Yeah,
and he is a prodigy. He's a once in a lifetime guy. He really is.
Didn't I read he was in the National Wheelbarrow 150 next weekend?
Yeah, he'd win that too, probably. Yeah. If you put him in a midget, he wins. I think he's won a Chili Bowl in the past.
Yeah. Maybe.
I know a lot of them have, but a lot of the guys in Cup have gone to the Chili Bowl. But I mean, I'm just saying, it doesn't matter what you put him in. He's really good, and I'm glad to see he's still clinging to his short track roots.
Yes.
And thank goodness Rick Hendrick has stepped up, sponsored his sprint car, and gave him his blessing. Because used to be Rick Hendrick did not like you moonlighting, and he would tell you if you get hurt, it's on you.
Yeah.
You could lose your ride. But now he's like, the heck with it, man. This kid's kicking butt, and he makes me look good too.
Let him go.
That's it. I mean, dang. But I mean, you talk about young people like, we got Jake Garcia and these young kids coming up with tons of talent. They just need the money. And I also want to give a shout out to Josh Berry, who is a late model racer for Junior Motorsports, is going to race full time in the Nationwide Series next year for Junior Motorsports. Junior's got him a sponsor. Kudos to Junior for doing that for him, to give this man a chance. Because I'm telling you, he ran 2 races and won this year at Martinsville. The dude he's a great race car driver. He wins in late models, and it's cool to see him get to step up and take a shot. And this is one of the only few guys like Kyle Larson that made it there on talent, not on money.
That's pretty rare for that to happen,
nothing against Harrison Burton, but he's not as good as Matt DiBenedetto, and they're going to see it when he gets in that 21 car. He's a raw rookie. He's going to tear up equipment and cost them a lot of money. He's done it. He's done okay in the Nationwide Series, or excuse me, Xfinity. He did okay in the trucks. He didn't impress Kyle Busch very much. I think there's some guys that have talent that need a shot. Short track racers unite and get a shot at it. If not, race short track racing. Get your butts out to short tracks. Watch some good racing, because these guys need the money to race. They're trying to make a living racing. Support them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a lot of good stuff coming up in the next week. And it's good to have you guys back here again on a Wednesday night.
Glad to be here.
Keep doing this. Yeah, we've got some exciting news coming out with some product. With the logo has been approved. I think everybody's going to like it. I'm certainly excited about it, and
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, well, leave us a good review and leave us a comment. Mine is jbp07@hotmail.com, lowercase jbp, and drop me a line. Tell me what we're doing. See if I can't help you. Everybody knows me on Facebook. Drop me a line. Drop our Facebook page a line. Give us a good review if you got that. If you can go to iTunes and give us a good review, please do that for us. And listen to us and share us with your friends and help us out, because we want to support short track racing. That's what we're here for.
Right.
We're here to help you guys. We're going to get some guests. We're going to have some fun. I enjoy this every week with you guys. I look forward to it when I get off work on Wednesdays, coming over here to the studio and hanging out and laughing and having a good time. So I want to keep this going. So please help us.
Yeah, Ted with the video.
Yep. We're just getting out there having fun. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to be watching this guy bring on another one.
I hope so. Old Tires is in my wheelhouse, and we're on Old Tires again. So in the next race, we're going to get to buy one. So we're still on Old Tires, and Jimbo's been doing pretty good on that. I've been fastest qualifier every time we've been on Old Tires. So let's get her done.
Yeah, well, it's always a pleasure to get with you guys and talk about short track racing and kind of cover the local, regional, national, and sometimes global if we have to go outside the states, in Canada or whatever. And we'll keep going, and it's exciting.
It is, and like I said, man, you guys are awesome. I enjoy doing this. Let's keep it going. Right. I'm having a great time.
All right, guys, love it. We'll see you guys next week, and thanks everybody for listening, and cheers for now.
That's it. Let's get it done. Y'all have a good night.